The Asian Financial Crisis in a Nutshell, presented by Group 2. First of all, what is Asian Financial Crisis? The Asian Financial Crisis was a period of financial crisis marked by devaluation of many Asian currencies starting from July 1997 and was also commonly referred to as the Asian Contagion. It is the third major currency crisis of the 1990s, preceded by the crisis of the European monetary system of 1992 and the Mexican peso crisis in 1994 to 1995. This financial contagion raised fear of a worldwide economic meltdown due to the massive depreciation of Asian currencies. This resulted in protective measures by the countries heavily investing in US treasuries, which are often used as a form of global investment. How it happened? The Asian financial crisis was ignited somewhat by financial intervention from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, encouraging the Asian economies to relax capital controls. The crisis started in Thailand with the financial collapse of the Thai baht. To understand this better, let us take a step back to before when the crisis began. The Thai baht was initially pegged to the US dollar and was supported by Thailand foreign currency reserves. When the Thai baht suffered massive currency devaluation due to a severe financial overextension, which was partly real estate sector driven, the government exhausted all of its foreign reserves to defend the peg and was finally forced to float the baht. At the time, Thailand had acquired a burden of foreign debt that made the country effectively bankrupt even before the collapse of its currencies. The crisis in Thailand sparked a chain of events causing the neighbouring Asian economies to slump, contributing to market declines in the United States, Europe, and Russia. So what was the result of the Asian financial crisis? As the crisis spread, most of Southeast Asia and Japan saw slumping currencies, devalued stock markets, and a rise in private debt. To date, Indonesia, South Korea, and Thailand were the countries most affected by the crisis. Hong Kong, Malaysia, Laos, and the Philippines were also hurt by the slump to a lesser degree. Taiwan, China, Singapore, Brunei, and Vietnam were less affected, although all suffered from loss of demand and confidence throughout the region. What made it worse was that from 1993 to 1996, foreign debt to GDP ratios rose from 100% to 167% in the economies of the four large Association of Southeast Asian Nations, also known as ASEAN, and shot up beyond 180% during the peak of the crisis. In South Korea, the ratio rose from 13% to 21% and then as high as 40%, while the other newly industrialized countries were much better. Only in Thailand and South Korea did debt service to export ratio rises. Although most of the government in Asia seem to have sound policies, the International Monetary Fund stepped in to initiate a 40 billion program to stabilize the currencies in South Korea, Thailand, and Indonesia, countries that were hit hard by the crisis. However, the efforts to stem a global economic crisis did little to stabilize the domestic situation in Indonesia. The Asian financial crisis also destroyed the social fabric in Indonesia. President Suharto, after 30 years in power, was forced to step down on 21st May 1998 in a wake of widespread rioting that followed sharp price increases caused by a drastic devaluation of the rupiah. The effects of the crisis lingered through 1998, and it was during this time that the Philippines' growth was dropped virtually to zero. Only Singapore and Taiwan proved relatively insulated from the shock, but both suffered serious hits in passing. Singapore in more due to its small size area and its location between Indonesia and Malaysia. By 1999, analysts saw positive signs that the economy in Asia were beginning to recover, and that it was ready to take center stage in the international financial domain once more. However, this time with a little more caution. And this is the Asian financial crisis in a nutshell.